Hey y'all, it's Natural Soleil, and I have to say that I'm so sorry for disappearing for almost a year. I made a video when I was transitioning last year, just about, and I kind of just disappeared. And real talk, if we get 50 subscribers within the next week, I will do a dope giveaway. So, without further ado, let me just jump into it because I'm trying not to make this a long video. All right. This is me at 15 or 16 years old. Those are my two little cousins. And as an aside, the one in the back is now 6'5", the one in the front is 6 feet, and I am still 5'7". Um, Please don't judge my fashion choices. I don't know what I was wearing, but I knew that I thought I looked so hot. Okay. I remember that day like it was yesterday. We were on our way to Coney Island with our older cousin, and I just thought I was dressed so well. Okay. But anyway, let's get to the hair. So my hair, you can see it at that point. It was BSL. It was really thick. I'd had my hair permed for about 6 months. I begged my mother for a perm. She finally gave in after she had warned me not to do it. And she finally gave in and said, "Okay, you can get your hair relaxed." When I say perm, you guys know I mean relaxed. And I thought I was so cool. I had no problems with my hair. It was pretty long. It started to grow even longer, and I think the longest my hair had ever been while I was relaxed was a little bit past bra strap length. So my hair was doing pretty well. When I hit around sophomore year in college, I realized that I wanted to go back natural. Like I liked bigger hair. I liked when my hair was blow dried. And I was getting sick of just the bone straight look. And I went to my stylist and I told her, "Look, I want to be natural again. I want, some texture." And she was like, "Well, you have to cut off all your hair." She didn't tell me about transitioning, didn't tell me anything else. She just said you have to cut off all your hair. And at that point I said, "Well, I'm not going to cut off hair that nothing's wrong with it. I'll just, it's my fault for getting a perm. I should have listened to my mother, but I'm not going to cut my hair." And I kept going. But eventually, the relaxers had a toll on my hair, and I had a bad relaxer, as many of us have had. And basically, what happened was I had a little trainee stylist who was working with my main stylist, and she was putting in the last touches of my relaxer. It started to burn like crazy. We all remember those nice little chemical burns. And when she went to rinse me out, she said, "Well, do you want me to put something on it to stop the burning?" And I said, "Yeah, that'd be great." And she said, "Well, it's actually going to burn even more. So do you still want me to put it on?" And I was like, "Well, no." You guys, she was talking about neutralizer. So she didn't put neutralizer on the back right side of my head, and you guessed it, it all came out. So from then on, I had an on again, off again relationship with relaxers trying to grow out my hair. You could see that finally, after 10 plus years of relaxing, 12 plus years of relaxing, my hair started to feel it. In addition to that little patch in the back that kept growing and falling out and growing, my hair was thinning. You can see it at the very top of my head in this picture. You could see it in the ends in this picture. And my hair was just really bad. And so I decided at this point, look, I need to really take control of my hair again, because the stylist kept telling me, "Well, it's the relaxer. It was you. It was something else, just not her, right? It was something or someone else but her." And you will always see that. A stylist is never going to tell you, "Oh, my bad. I actually put the relaxer, I overlapped the relaxer on hair that was already relaxed." They won't tell you anything. It's never going to be their fault, right? But I didn't know that at that point, and I thought it was me. Because real talk, I wasn't really taking care of my hair that well anyway. So I was like, yeah, it's probably me. And I decided to change stylists, and I went to a stylist in Boston. If you're in the Boston area and you want a dope stylist, okay, let me know, because this guy took my hair from thinning and basically took it back. He brought it back to life. He started to texturize me, and I would go to him every 2 weeks religiously. My hair really got back in good shape. You could even see here it started to thicken up again. People were complimenting me on my hair again. It looked really good. And I still had issues with that back. And when I moved back to New York, I had to find a new stylist. And my hair had started off, again, this length. It had, you could see there it was getting thick again. But for whatever reason, the spot started to drop to sort of, I was gonna say drop out again, but all the West Indians know what I mean, right? It started to fall out again, and it just was not good, and eventually I had to cut it. And my stylist didn't want to do it, but I told her, look, I'm not going to walk around with long hair when I have, when you lift it up, the whole back right side is gone. So I finally convinced her to cut my hair to this length, and it was the shortest I had ever cut my hair in all of my life. The front on the right side was a little bit longer than the left. You could see that it sort of came down close to my chin. The left was a little bit shorter. The back wasn't fully tapered where it was flush against my scalp, but it was very, very short. It probably was the length of what you're seeing on the left side. It's my fiance Kev with me, and he actually started to like the hairstyle. At first he was sort of like, "Why'd you cut it?" But then he was like, "Oh, this looks really, really good." But I knew why I'd cut it. It wasn't because I just wanted a new look, but it was because my hair was just a wreck. It was horrible, and I had to start fresh. I started to look for a new stylist because, like I said, my old stylist didn't even want to address the fact that I had damage. So I went to my new stylist. She's the one that suggested that I go natural. Have you ever thought about it? And I had, but I really didn't seriously think about it because I was just like, I don't know anything about being natural anymore, because when I was natural, I would just have my hair in cornrows because I was 15 and younger. And so I finally decided, you know what? After I sort of stumbled on YouTube, I decided, okay, I'll go natural. That makes sense to me. And, I watched natural hair journeys, and I was so moved by all these women who had the same stories that I did. And I was like, I'm not the only one. It wasn't me. It was the relaxer. It was the whole thing. I felt like I was in a part of this conspiracy. But anyway, I decided to go natural, and then I decided to transition with weaves. I was going to get a weave for 2.5 months and then go to wigs and then go back to the weaves. And yeah, this is my weave. Yeah, it looks a little crazy here, but it actually looked really good. I don't know what was going on here. I think this was like when I first put it, something's going on. I don't know what the problem is, but it didn't normally look like this. But after I took it out, I didn't really like weaves. I didn't like the fact that I couldn't get to my scalp. I felt kind of gross with it, and so I decided I was not going to get weaves again. I was going to go with wigs. So I would cornroll my hair underneath, and I would rock wigs. This is the wig that I wore from about May until December. I wore the mess out of this wig, and it was so convenient. My hair did really well underneath. I would wash my hair weekly and do all the other stuff, but this is how I transitioned. This is an example of one of the wigs that I wore towards the end of my transition, when I had some natural hair that I could leave out in the top, and sometimes I didn't leave out any hair at all. And then this is another wig. It was sort of straightish, but kind of kinky, and I wore that as a half wig as well. And I didn't wear my hair out a lot during my transition, but when I did, it was twist updos and twist outs, because at that point my hair looked natural anyway, and so everyone thought that my hair was natural. Fast forward to the day that I BC, which is December 18th of 2010. Kev did my length check, and you can see I was APL. Okay, so I went from this in September of 2009 to armpit length in December of 2010. So my hair was growing. So all you transitioners out there who are thinking to yourselves, well, I wonder if my hair will grow, if it will just break off. I had extremely damaged hair going into this process, and my hair kept growing. Okay, so you'll be fine. And I'm sure you've seen YouTubers that have gone through transition journeys much longer than 13 months, and their hair has done well.